Hello, my people! Happy fucking Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend, and I promise you'll make it through this week. Um, really sitting here recording right now. It's so friggin' nice outside, so we'll see how the week goes, but it's really hard to stay inside right now. But I also have a baby sleeping and tons of fucking work to do, so I guess inside is where I will be. But yeah, so big week last week. Completely joking. Nothing happened last week. It was pretty easy going. But sitting here recording is making me realize I need a fucking office in this new house. Like, this is ridiculous. All I can hear is Scott. I'm sitting on the couch holding the microphone because I don't have a desk to put it on. So, that's going to be what I'm going to work on the next, couple weeks. Because our appliances and the rest of our kitchen's supposed to be in like the next week. So that's exciting. But anyways, let's get back to the poll I did after last week's episode. Ketchup. It is supposed to be in the fridge, like most of you said. Obviously, duh. So any of you weirdos that are keeping it in the cupboard, stop it. It literally says to be refrigerated on the fucking bottle. So don't be gross. But side note, someone messaged me and they said they keep peanut butter in the fridge. You know who you are. I'm not going to out you because you will most likely be shunned by all. But yeah, it looks like also you guys had a good Mama's Day from all the replies I got from last week's episode, which is awesome. Moms they deserve more than one day as far as I'm concerned because it's like one of the hardest jobs ever. Alright, anyways, I just want to dive right into it this week. I gave you guys a clear warning last week. We're going to talk about Seaspiracy. I hope you all watched it because it's fucking crazy. Like, whoa, holy shit. It blew my mind. I watched it with Scott. I think it took us 2 nights to watch it because by the end of the day, we can only watch something for so long before we fall asleep. Anyways, it opened my mind to tons of shit that isn't talked about because yeah, we see I remember 2 years ago there was What the Health, and it was talking about meat processing in the farms and where people are getting their meat from, and I feel like I see that all the time where there's nothing really talking about the fishing industry. Like, we just go get our fish from Loblaws or wherever you're getting your fish from, and you don't really think much about it because you don't see anything about fishing. You just think fishing's natural, like they put their whatever in and get the fish out and goes to your plate, right? You never think about, because you're like, oh, there's no fish factories. Well, there are fish factories, but the way this documentary talks about it is insane. It opened my eyes to what is in our fish. They were talking about that when you get a can of tuna, I never even looked for the dolphin. It says dolphin safe. It doesn't even mean, number one, didn't even realized that tuna had dolphin in the first place, that I needed to look for a dolphin safe tuna can or seal on the can. Number two, even if it has that seal, it's not even guaranteed that there's no dolphin or something else other than tuna in there because it's not regulated on the fishing boats itself. So they could just get a dolphin in with the tuna that they caught and they'll just process it as tuna, which is crazy to me. I never ever looked at a tuna can before when I bought it. I just bought it. And also, it's crazy of how they're fishing. They were talking about how with the nets, the nets are massive. They're football fields, long or whatever. I forget the exact measurement, but they're massive nets. They're so heavy that they'll drag on the ocean floor, creating trails on the ocean floor because they're destroying the coral. So you can literally see these trails from an aerial view, and it's so sad because they were also talking about how an acre of forest clears so much air where an acre of coral clears 7 times, or not clears, but cleans 7 times more air than just the forest would, which is crazy. So the fact that we're just destroying that just because of these stupid nets drives me nuts. Also, it talks about, what else does it talk about? It talks about a ton of stuff. Who owns, a lot of the Save the Fish foundations, they, track them back, and they're supported by these big corporations who are doing all this stuff anyway, so it's just like a vicious cycle. It's like they feel like, oh, we're giving back, so we're not a part of the problem. But they're 100% part of the problem. It's crazy. Also, the main thing that fucking made my skin crawl was the slavery on these boats. They interviewed, I think he was Asian, but I don't know from where. I forget where they were in the world when they interviewed him, but it's somewhere in Asia. He said he was like taken from his taken from his city onto the boat by this guy he met in a bar. And the guy was like, "Oh, come see the fishing boats or whatever." And he went in there, and the boat left and just never brought him back. And then from then on, he was like considered a slave, and he would work for free. They would treat him like shit, and he had said that people were thrown overboard and killed and stuff if they tried to go like against the leaders of the boat. So like that's insane that these people are slaved on these boats. It made me sick to think like your son or brother or something goes away on this fishing boat and then just never comes back, and they say, "Oh well, you fell overboard." That's what they're telling all the police apparently, is that he fell overboard, when really they're killing these people because they're not doing what they're telling them to do, which is crazy. Sorry about the bangs in the back. Scott's putting floor down. But mind you, I did fact check this documentary, because a lot of documentaries are from biased points of view. So some stuff is exaggerated. Like, the stuff they're saying is true 100%, but it's exaggerated. Like when they say like even the protected areas aren't protected. There's a lot of bodies of water that are protected, very highly protected and controlled for fishing. He also interviewed this person who were saying that microplastics were like the biggest problem in the sea, where he's saying the fishing nets and fishing plastics are the most plastics in the water, where actually a study was done. Microplastics, out of the 1.2 billion floating plastics, 94% of them were microplastics, but also 46% were fishing plastics in another study. So technically they're both right. It just goes on with what study. I think a lot of the floating plastics in the water are microplastics, but I think a lot of the fishing nets and stuff are super heavy too, so maybe those aren't the floating ones. Maybe those are the ones that are like in the coral and on the ground of the ocean and stuff like that. So like I said, it's right, but it's just like a little over exaggerated, and he kind of made the people he was interviewing look not reputable, because what he was saying, they didn't really know much about it, and they figured out from another study what they were saying. So they were both right, but he just kind of tried to like discredit them and look them to be liars when they weren't. And then they did another one where this the guy doing the documentary made it sound like the fish in the water were going to be not there by 2048. It's false. A study in 2016 reported that the National Academy of Sciences in the United States predicted that over 50% of the fish stocks could be sustainable by 2050, which they're working on right now. So he made it sound like nothing's being done. 2048, we're not going to have any fish. Like, say goodbye to the fish. See you later. But that's not true, because they're actually working on it right now, like taking 50% of the fish stocks and sustaining them by 2050. So just a little tidbit for you. And then just the last thing that I found when fact checking was he said to just stop eating fish. That's the only way we could figure this out, is to stop eating fish. It's said from he's kind of biased in this point of view, because he's vegan. He's a vegan guy, so obviously he's gonna tell you not to eat fish, which is the same as the What the Health documentary, who were done by vegans as well, to try to scare you out of eating meat altogether. Which I don't think not eating is the proper way to do it. They don't tell you that you can get meat like a more natural way, like as hunting your food, or maybe not from grocery stores and stuff like that, get your fish, but get your fish from, there's like fish farms who do it naturally. I know by Scott's family like farm cabin thing, there's a trout farm. So there are people doing it properly. You just got to be mindful of where you're getting it from, because you can't just not eat meat. Animals hunt other animals. It's completely natural. It's the way of life. Just be careful who you're getting it from, right? I think also, I know my parents live on like North Bowmanville, like in the Concession 8 by Mossport area, and I've seen 3 people who sell farm raised animal meat, which that'd be a way better option than getting it from grocery stores, because you don't know where that's coming from. But again, that's your choice. If you want to be vegan and do your own thing, that's completely cool, but they shouldn't scare you into doing it. They shouldn't do it this way. It should be your choice and your morals and stuff like that make you choose that. It shouldn't be, oh, you're bad because you're supporting this by eating. No. Just find a better way to get it, and a more sustainable way for our environment. That's what I think anyways. It's just my opinion. Like I always say, this is just my opinion. If you have other opinions, let me know. I'm always open to listening to that. So one thing I took from this documentary, and not just this one per se, but all documentaries in general, is to just make sure you fact check, because it's always going to be from one point of view. That's why I wanted to start like this podcast. First of all, is just because I wanted to hear different points of view. That's why when I talk about something on the podcast, I want to hear what you guys think as well, because I love seeing how other people see it. Because yeah, you have your morals and what you think is right, but healthy conversation with other people can like broaden your thinking. They can make you think about certain things a little more. Like you have this certain way you think of this Seaspiracy thing, but say someone writes into me and has a completely different outlook, might make me think like, they have a point. So always fact check and get your own opinions on things. But this documentary was great because it got people thinking and knowing that there's an issue. May not have been like 100% in everything it said, but there is 100% an issue with what's going on in the fishing industry. So what I was thinking was we can brainstorm better ways that we can do better. I would love to hear your feedback. And one, actually, because I did do a poll. Was it a poll or was it, I think it was a question. What do you take from it? What did you take from Seaspiracy? And I got a DM saying a great idea would be biodegradable fishing nets, which I thought is awesome. Because if they're going to be assholes and they're going to throw the fishing net after they use it just because, it got a knot in it or whatever, just cut it off and let it go. If it's going to go in the water, why not make it biodegradable so it's not going to stay there forever? You know what I mean? Another person suggested something we all know that we should do, which is try and reduce our plastic consumption for stupid things. Like when we talked about last week, it was episode 2, about that stupid plastic applicator when you have your tampons. Like, it's so unnecessary for the waste. Like, we can use our fingers, we can get the reusable ones. We don't need to be throwing 6 applicators in the garbage a day when you're on your period. Also, me and Scott just actually switched over to this. We got a reusable water bottle. I know it's not a huge thing or whatever, and it's a no-brainer, but it was a big step for us because we're big plastic water bottle people. But so far so good. It's a step in the right direction at least. I'd love to hear how you guys are trying to reduce your plastic. There's tons of ways. I want to hear it, even if it's just little, like, I do the reusable cotton swabs, or if it's a big thing, like, my whole house, we use reusable bottles for everything. We never buy new Windex bottle cleaner. We always just use the same bottle. Anything like that. I just want to hear how you guys are doing it so I can implicate it in my life too. Like, I'm already trying to make changes with the new house and stuff. I've gotten rid of stuff we don't need plastic wise, like recycled it all, such as we have reusable straws. We've always had reusable straws because I'm a straw person. But yeah, just send me how you guys are doing it because I would love to implicate it in my life. So the first business we wanted to shout out today is yourfootprint.ca. The reason why I wanted to shout this out is because Seaspiracy made me think about like microplastics, like things we don't need to use, such as straws, those little bags at the grocery store that you put your produce in. There's other reusable ways that we can do and implement in our lives, and this company sells all those things. So they sell things from, like I said, the reusable straws. They also sell the bamboo bags that you can put your produce in. They also sell, this is really cool, they sell holiday cards, but they're made out of paper. And they also, if you plant them, then they grow plants from the card. So I'm definitely going to buy those because I know my sister, the plant lover, shout out Percy Plants, would absolutely love those cards. And I feel like when you get a greeting card, like, yeah, it's nice, I love this birthday card, but eventually, I don't, like, do you keep all your birthday cards? I don't know. I don't keep all of them. I keep some of them, but I definitely don't keep all of them. So the fact that you just get them, read them, oh, that's really nice and sweet, and then they go in the garbage, well, wouldn't you rather plant them in the ground and a plant grow from them? That's like the best memory card right there, because every time you look at that plant, you'd be like, oh, that's from the card that said person gave me. So I thought that is super friggin' cool. They also sell the like wooden spoons that you would use when you're cooking. They also sell reusable cutlery that you can bring with you. So if you have little kiddos, then you can bring those with you, and they come in these cute little sacks. They also sell like the stuff you'd put loose leaf tea in to put in your cup. Tons of stuff. So if you want to give them a follow, their handle is yourfootprintca. And that's it. There's no spaces between that. And yeah, so throw them a follow and order some stuff if you want to reduce your plastic usage. All right, let's get into the second portion of this week's podcast. I wanted to say happy National Women's Sexual Health and Wellness Week. Since this was last week, so it was May 7th to 14th, I believe. I wanted to go with that for this week's episode because I think it's super important. The clinic I used to work at, actually on Fridays, they used to do sexual health counseling and like birth control and stuff like that for women, which I loved, as well as they did STI testing. And I know when I was denied by my doctor when I was a teenager birth control, they told me to just be safe and use a condom. When I went there for birth control, I ended up having to go to a sexual health clinic in Oshawa. It was actually in the mall just on the second story. So I think these clinics are awesome because without that, who knows, I probably still would have had sex and not had any birth control. So it is super awesome that we have these clinics that are doing what they're doing. Anyways, let's get into it. First, I wanted to talk about birth control this week. To be honest, not a lot of people use anything according to my poll. I don't know whether this is just the age demographic. A lot of people are starting a family. I know who follow me. Well, not even starting a family, but they're at the age where you would think like maybe people would want to start maybe having kids. But yeah, not a lot of you using birth control, which to each his own. You do you. But for me, I don't have a lot of opinions because I'm prone to blood clots, so my only options are the pill with no estrogen, which made me wacky and depressed and weight gain, and I just don't need to be any more wacky than I already am, so that was just a no-go for me. And then I had an IUD. But it was a long time ago. When I was like 18, I got the Mirena put in, because they have the Mirena and the Kyleena now, but I just had the Mirena at that point. The Mirena is a lot bigger than the Kyleena, so when I had it, it would move a lot, and since my uterus was smaller, because obviously I hadn't had a kid then, it caused a lot of pain, and it was just not doing it for me, so I got it taken out. So then I just had to either use condoms or pull and pray, which we all know that is not a good method, the pull and pray, because we have Harpy, but wouldn't take it back, but definitely was not an effective birth control measure to be taking. But now at least they have the Kyleena. It is smaller. I know a lot of girls who have the IUD now have the Kyleena. So they've made it smaller, so women who haven't had kids yet and have a smaller uterus, it's ideal for them. And it's awesome. So yeah, I should have done it back then, but it wasn't available. If I did do it though, I wouldn't have Harpy, so to each his own. But definitely something I want to talk about this episode is birth control. And the main reason I think about this is because when I was growing up, talking about birth control, I always thought just like the condom or the pill. It wasn't until nursing school that I really saw how many options were out there, because in nursing school is when I figured out the whole blood clot thing, so I needed other options. Some are really effective out there and some might not be as effective out there. But anyways, let's get into this. Let's talk about options first. So we obviously know the pill. You take it every day. This one does contain estrogen, but you can get ones that don't contain estrogen as well. So with perfect use, you can get pregnant. 1 woman in 100 will get pregnant within a year. And typical use, because we all know we miss pills, we forget to take them on time. So when they say perfect use, it's like taking it at 8:59 every day, same time, never miss a pill. But with typical use, which most of us would probably be doing, 9 in 100 women will get pregnant within a year. There are perks to the pill. You can make your period more regular, reduce symptoms, but some of the cons are not preventative against STIs, can cause mood changes, and if you miss any pills, you're not fully covered for that month. Every pill is different, but you do need a prescription for the pill. And without insurance, it's like $10 to $50 a month. I know a lot of people don't like taking the pill because it can, like it did to me, it can make you wacky, it can make you gain weight, it can make you depressed. It's just, I know it's not a really popular, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not a popular method lately. But our second one is the most popular method. I know when I was working at the clinic before I went on mat leave, this was the most popular, is the IUD. It's a small device. It goes into your uterus. It's gets put in there, kind of like how they do a PAP. They just pop it open like that and just throw it in. There's the Mirena and the Kyleena. Like I explained before, the Mirena is larger and the Kyleena is smaller. So the Mirena is good if you've had a kid. Not so good if you haven't, because your uterus is smaller. So like this is just my opinion. When I had it before I had Harpy, it wasn't great. It was just causing pain and not awesome. So who even wants to have sex when you're in pain anyway? So it's kind of irrelevant at that point. But now they have the Kyleena, which is substantially smaller and good if you haven't had a kid yet. Also good if you have had a kid. I was going to get actually one in after Harpy, and then it just, every time I went, there was like a problem, like, oh, my blood work hadn't come in yet or whatever, so it just never happened. But after we have the second kid, I'm definitely getting one of those put in. It's not estrogen based, it's progesterone based. With the use, because there's no typical or good use, there's only one use because they put it inside you. Less than 1 in 100 women will get pregnant, which is really good odds. Some of the perks, you don't always have to worry about everything for 5 years. I think it's 5 to 8 years. Kyleena is 5 years, but I think the Mirena can be up to 8 years. So that's awesome. You don't have to worry about taking a pill. You're just good to go. Cons, not protective against STIs. Some people reported heavier periods or more cramping with the IUD put in, which is what I had. That was with the Mirena though, not the Kyleena. I haven't really heard bad things with the Kyleena. This could be considered a perk or a con. Some women don't get their periods. Like a couple of my friends have it and they don't get their periods anymore, but you still PMS. I know a lot of them still PMS even though they don't have their periods. This was a big con for me because I think it's just healthy to get your period. That's just this is my point of view. I like to get my period because I feel like it's natural. It needs to happen. But then some women are like, yeah, don't get a period. Hallelujah. Good to go 24/7, which is also a plus. So you do need a prescription from it for your IUD from your GP. The price can vary. I had good coverage through Scotty's work, and it was $80 for the 5 years. So it's actually cheaper if you have good coverage. I know, though, if you don't have coverage at all, it can get pricey. I think it's like $500 to $800, I think, around there. So if you have coverage, it's cheaper in some ways. And if you don't have coverage, like, it's still technically cheaper because you could pay a max to like $50 a month for the pill. So if it's $800 over 5 years, like, it's actually cheaper, but $800 is a lot to upfront. Yeah, so that's the IUD. Next would be condoms. If you are unsure about your partner, please always wear a condom. This helps against STIs, and it's just, you don't need an STI. Trust me. I haven't had one, but I've seen them, heard about them. You don't want it. I also feel like we know what condoms are, but for those out there who don't, it's latex. You can also get latex free. It goes over the dick, and it collects all the little spermies that come out. With typical use, 18 in 100 women will get pregnant, and with perfect use, 2 in 100 women will get pregnant. This is within a year. Perks, it's available without a prescription, and it prevents against STIs. Cons, it can break, leak, or come off. So that's a big con if you're using it trying not to get pregnant. Next one, abstinence. Abstinence makes the heart grow fonder. Anyways, is basically don't do it. It's not doing it, waiting. Not the most popular, but unless you are the Virgin Mary, you will not get knocked up if you use them. So let's go to our next one. The next one is family planning and fertility awareness. So a lot of people use this to try and get pregnant, but you can also use it to try and not get pregnant. Basically, you keep track of your period so you can tell when you're ovulating. So you would, if you're trying not to get pregnant, when you're ovulating, you would not have sex or wear a condom or some form of protection. But if you're trying to get pregnant, you have sex when you're ovulating. So that's how it can be used for either or. You should still, if you're unsure about your partner, again, wear a condom because of the STIs. But typical use, 12 in 24 women within the year will get pregnant. With perfect use, 5 in 100 women will get pregnant within the year. The perks to this are there are no devices and no side effects, which is awesome because when I was doing the poll and I asked why a lot of women weren't using protection, or not protection necessarily, but like contraceptives like IUDs and birth control pill and stuff like that, it was because they don't like the way it made their body feel and how like mentally they were. So this would be an option if that's how you were feeling. One of the cons, though, is it doesn't prevent against STIs, as well as little spermies can live in there for 3 days. So say you have sex 3 days before you ovulate, you can still get pregnant because they live up there for at max 72 hours. So you can get it easily. You just use a calendar, track your periods. There's also apps, fertility sticks that you can buy on Amazon or anywhere really. The app that I use right now is Flow, and you can use it for family planning and fertility and awareness as well. Next, we have the Depo-Provera shot. It's a needle you get every 3 months. It's just put in, I believe I used to do these at the clinic. It's really easy. You come in with your injection, they give it to you, and you can leave. It's super easy. Typical use, 6 in 100 women will get pregnant. And what they say with typical use, like, yeah, it's a needle, but a lot of women will not get it when they're supposed to. Like, you have to get it every 3 months. Like, there's no room for days waiting and stuff like that. You have to get it every 3 months, or otherwise you're not covered. So that's why they say typical use. But with perfect use and getting it when you're supposed to, every 3 months, right on the nose, less than 1 in 100 women will be pregnant within a year. One of the perks are you don't have to worry about anything for 3 months, which is like the IUD but on a smaller scale. You just don't have to worry about it when you're getting down and dirty. You don't have to worry about anything because you're already protected. One of the cons, it does not prevent against STIs, weight gain, irregular periods. Also, the shot can cause bone loss, which is often reversible but can become irreversible. You also get it with a prescription, and a doctor or nurse will administer it, and usually is covered, but if not, I think it's like $25 a month if I'm correct. This was, I guess this would be like the second most popular option that I saw at the clinic. Obviously, birth control pill and IUD were up there. Actually, the IUD, what I'd say, is above the birth control pill now, but this is a close, like, second or third. And the second small business I wanted to shout out this week is Hot Head Salon in Curtis. This is actually owned by a friend of mine, Brooke. She is amazing. They all are amazing at anything hair related. They also have a nail salon. They do aesthetics. They do barbering. They do everything. And I know Brooke she does my hair. It's fucking phenomenal. Like, always nails it every time. Last time I was there, I got a pink toner put in my hair, and I loved it. And of course, with COVID, they shut it down, and now I can't get the toner back in my hair. But I can now because Brooke is offering take-home hair stuff. So you can get toners, you can get root treatments, you can get hair treatments. Not root treatments, but root touch-ups. So their Instagram is Hot Head Salon Curtis, all one word, no spaces, and it's on Nash Road in Oshawa. Well, I guess it's Curtis for all you homies who know where Curtis is, but it's actually considered Oshawa, Ontario. It's just at Nash and Trolls there. So yeah, when COVID comes up, book your appointment with her, and she will rock your socks off with what she can do with hair. And if you want to treat your hair now, please don't box dye it. Don't do that. Oh, I can't say much because I almost did it and then it opened back up and I got into Brooke. But don't do it. Get the root treatment. You message her. She gives you a take-home kit. You can do it at home by yourself. She'll give you step-by-step how to do it. Don't fucking box dye it. You'll regret it. We all know you will. But yeah, so throw a follow if you need any hair supplies. She also offers Aveda products, which I love. I use after I get out of the shower. Every time I use the damage remedy, the botanical damage remedy, and I do some moisturizer as well. So yeah, so throw her a follow. All your hair needs. Love you, Brooke. Doing a great job. Next one, not my favorite, but again, that's my opinion, is the female condom. It's literally a vaginal pouch you put in before sex. Looks like a giant condom. It's exactly what it is. Typical use, 21 in 100 women will get pregnant within a year. Perfect use, 5 in 100 will get pregnant. Perks, it prevents against STIs, which is a good thing. Cons, I mean, you need lube with it. You can have allergic reactions. And it's kind of like, it's kind of mood killing, I would say. Like, oh, hold on one second. Let me put my vaginal pouch in. Anyways, you can get it anywhere. Usually like $4 per condom. They are not reusable, you nasties, so don't reuse them because that's just gross. Next one, diaphragms. I feel like this is very like old school because I don't think a lot of people use diaphragms anymore. But if you do, kudos to you. Let me know how it is. You use spermicide lube on the outside of the dome-shaped silicone or latex cup. Sounds like I'm reading it off of something, because that one I am, because to be honest, I don't ever see those. You insert it into the vagina, so it's kind of similar to a female condom, but this one is reusable. Still, I don't know. I don't think I could clean it out personally, but typical use 12 and 100 will get pregnant. Perfect use 6 and 100 will get pregnant within a year. Perks, it can stay up there for 24 hours. So you could, like, say you're going on a date and you know you're going to get that dick appointment afterwards. You just shove it up there before your date. And then after, when you are finished or when you get home or something, then you can take it out, which is pretty cool. So it's not kind of like mood killy like the female condom. Cons, it does not prevent against STDs. Or STIs, sorry, STIs. This is 2020. But it can cause toxic shock or UTIs. So you have to be really careful. And for someone like me who's really prone to UTIs, this wouldn't be a good option because I don't need any more help getting them because it's really easy for me. Another con is it needs to stay inside for at least 6 hours post-porking. So that's not fun to walk around with that. Also, it's gross to clean. Like, think about it. When you pull it out and you gotta clean it, that's not for me. It's not like, ugh. Not, maybe some of you guys would like it, but definitely not an option for me. You can get it through a healthcare provider. It's usually $40 without a prescription. But yeah, that's the diaphragm, which I don't think a lot of people use nowadays anyways. But if you do use it, message me and let me know how it is, because I really want to know. The next one we have is the cervical cap. Similar to the diaphragm, only it's smaller, and you coat it with spermicide lube, and then you push it into the back of the vagina, and so it covers the cervix. So like when they say cervical cap, it's literally a cap for your cervix. So with this one, typical use 29% will get pregnant within a year, and with perfect use 9% will get pregnant within a year. So not great odds. Perks is you can throw it up there 6 hours before, and it can stay up there up to 24 hours in general. So that's something, I guess. Like I said before, if you're going out or you know it's going to happen, you can throw it up there prior, so it's not like a mood killer when you're like, oh, I got to throw my cap in. Some of the cons were, obviously, it doesn't prevent against STIs, and again, it can cause toxic shock or UTIs. And again, it needs to stay 6 hours in there post-porking. So you have sex, you got to leave it in there for 6 hours afterwards. Again, it can be really gross to clean when you take it out. You get it through your doctor, and if you're not covered, it is $23. But if you are covered, usually they are covered completely by the insurance company. So that's another option. I don't think it's a really popular one out there. I haven't heard of a lot of people using it. Well, actually, I've never heard of anyone using it like in this day and age with all the different types. But again, if you use it, let me know, because I want to know if there are people using this out there. One that I do know some people use, and it's not the most popular, it's not the least popular, it's like mid-range, is the patch. So basically, it's like kind of like those Nicoderm patches, but for birth control. So you apply it just like a Band-Aid to either your butt, upper arm, or lower tummy, and I know you rotate patch sites. You change it once a week for 3 weeks, and then take a week break after the 3 weeks. So I guess that's like your period break, and then you would start it again after you take that week break. Typical use, 9 in 100 women will get pregnant within a year, and perfect use, less than 1 in 100 will get pregnant. So it's actually got pretty good odds. When they say typical use and perfect use, again, it's not putting your patch on time. It falls off. It's not fully stuck on there. I haven't, like I said, I have heard of people using it, but I haven't really talked to anyone about how they like using it. So if you use the patch, I'd like to know what you think about it. I haven't heard like bad things about it, but it'd be something to think about if you're wanting to explore more options. It does, for perks, make your period more regular, and it's a nonstop protection. So like the IUDs and the Depo-Provera shots. It's always on you, so you don't have to worry about it. It also can help with period symptoms. Some of the cons, though, are, again, not against STIs, won't help you. People have had skin reactions, so like allergic reactions. They've had headaches, nausea, and if the patch is removed for more than a day, or you're late starting your new patch, you should either not have sex or use backup method of contraception, like a condom, until the new patch has been applied for 7 days. So it's kind of like a sketchy area if you forget to put it on, or you are late changing it. So this one you get with a prescription as well from your doctor. It's usually covered. If it's not, it's $55 a month. So kind of like the average that the other ones were a month too as well. Another one I want to talk about is the ring. So I actually had to look up this because I haven't really seen this out there. I didn't even really know about it until nursing school when we were discussing it. So the ring, it's like a flexible ring you put in your vagina for 3 weeks, followed by a ring-free week. So it's kind of the same in the patch and the way you use it. With typical use, 9 in 100 women get pregnant within a year. Perfect use, less than 1 in 100. So it's got good odds. It does give you nonstop protection, which is awesome. Helps with period side effects, and you only change it once a month. So you put it in, wait 3 weeks, take it out, have your period week, and then put another ring back in. Which, to be honest, it's almost better than the patch, I think, because number one, it's in there, so you don't have to worry about it falling off. And number two, you don't have to change it every week. It's just every 3 weeks. But then, I know me, I would forget about it at least a couple times in the year. So, the drags of this one are, it does obviously not prevent against STIs. There are the side effects such as the headache, nausea, weight gain that we see with all birth controls for side effect listings. If you miss putting in your ring or taking it out at the appropriate time, you are not covered, just like the patch. If you forget about it, you're not covered, and you need to throw another ring up there, and it's got to be there for 7 days before you're fully covered again. You get this one again with a prescription, and it's usually $55 a month with no coverage. If you have coverage, is usually fully covered. This one I've actually heard about people using. It's the implant, so it's basically like a small rod that they insert under the skin, usually on the upper arm. You can't really see it. The success rate is less than 1 in 1,000 women within a year get pregnant, which that's pretty good odds to me. Perks has 3 years of protection, so this one can stay into 3 years. So it's not as long as the IUD at 5 years to 8 years, but 3 years is still awesome. It can also lengthen or shorten your period and help with cramps. The cons, again, are does not prevent STIs, and can cause everything that it says it helps as well. So if it says it can lighten, shorten periods, and help with cramps, it can also make your periods longer and increase cramps. So, I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess, right? This one you get, again, with the doctor prescription. Usually it's mostly covered, but with no coverage, it's pretty expensive, again, at $400 to $800. So if you don't have coverage, that's something you need to think about, because that's a hefty bill. The next one, I wouldn't call it birth control, but it is a preventative measure. This one is Plan B. I mean, I feel like a lot of us have been there. I'm with you on that one. You got to do what you got to do. You just take a pill up to 5 days after the unprotected sex. The sooner, the better. So the success rate is if you do it within 3 days of the unprotected sex, it reduces your chance of getting pregnant by 89%. The perks, it can prevent pregnancy. Cons, does not help you with STIs, and you can still get pregnant even if you take the Plan B. So it's not 100% surefire thing that you're not going to get pregnant if you take this thing, but again, the sooner the better. Also, it can cause you to feel super sick after you take it, which it makes you feel like you have the flu. I've heard from some people. The price is $10 to $50 in between there. It is over the counter, so you don't need a prescription or anything to get it. You can literally walk up to the pharmacist and just ask for it, and they'll give it to you. The next method we're going to talk about is the withdrawal method, the pull and pray. So basically, you just pull the weenie out, and hopefully it gets out in time. It's not effective at all, really. Well, like, it is effective, like, it works, but it's not a for sure method. I can speak to this because this is how Harpy was made. Typical use, 22 in 100 women will get pregnant within a year. Perfect use, 4 in 100 women will get pregnant within a year. The drag, obviously it doesn't prevent against STDs because you're basically raw dogging it. Can still get pregnant because of pre-cum. We all know this. You have to rely on the men. You have to put all your faith in that they'll pull it out. So, not the best choice. And like I said, you can still get pregnant because of pre-cum, because that shit still has sperm in it. So, you're not free of getting pregnant. But it is free. So, if you're looking for a wallet happy method, withdrawal's your thing. Also, we can talk about spermicide. You just insert it into your vagina, and it can come in like foams, gels, creams, suppository. You just do it before sex, and it kills all the sperm before it reaches the egg. It's not very effective, but I know with cervical caps, female condoms, diaphragms, and stuff like that, people will use spermicide lube on top of that. A lot of them actually call for it. I know the cervical cap and the diaphragm, you can put it, like, it helps putting it in. Typical use, if you just use the spermicide lube, though, 28 in 100 women within a year will get pregnant. And perfect use is 18 in 100 will still get pregnant within a year. So that's not it's not very good odds, let's say. Perks, it is accessible and it also lubricates. Cons, does not prevent against STIs, can irritate your vagina and cause infection. But it is also cheap at like $1.50 every time you have sex, roughly. Because, like, I think a bottle of lube is like, they looked at it, was like $15. So it would cover you for like, I don't know, my math's probably wrong, but like 11 tries. 11 to 12. But yeah, so every time you have sex, you just put whatever form it comes in up there, and hopefully it kills all the sperms. But let's finish this up. At the end of the day, it's your body and it's your choice. And if you choose not to take anything, that is 100% your choice. I understand why women don't want to take it anymore, because number one, it makes your body feel horrible. I'm not talking about like the withdrawal method or the fertility tracking, because you don't really have to put anything in your body. But with the pill and the IUD and all that, it does give you like horrible side effects and can really mess with you. So don't let anyone ever tell you different, that you have to do anything. It's your choice. But if you are wanting to protect yourself, I hope I helped out in showing you ways you can do that. Like I said, it's always your choice, but please, if you are not confident in your partner or having multiple partners and you are not confident in them or who they've been with, or it's a one-night stand, 100% do you, but please wear a condom. I know they suck and they kill the mood, but you know what else kills the mood? STIs. So just be safe. And if you don't want to get pregnant, be safe while practicing making babies, right? So, if you want to make babies, have fun doing it. Good luck. Like I said, it's your choice, but be smart. If you don't want to have a kid, just use a method. If you do want to have a kid, fuck it. Go have fun. But if you do also have any questions about anything, you can go to this website. Like, it tells you where to get tested, information about STIs, and anything about birth control you want to know. It's called it'syoursexlife.com. I remember I had questions when I was younger, and I saw this on a TV ad, and I went to it, and it actually helped me. As well as if you're unsure about your partners or having multiple partners and practicing good sexual health, you should always get tested regularly. You can go to your GP, sexual health clinics, and they can help you get tested. No issues, no questions, and they're great. That's what they're there for, right? So, and for our personal page shout out this week, I wanted to shout out a friend of mine. Her name is Shelby. I'm going to butcher this last name. I even asked her how to pronounce it, and I'm still going to fuck it up. But it's Shelby Rankowitz. She does tons of awesome stuff for MS fundraising, and I absolutely love her. She is the kindest, sweetest person ever. And she's raised tons of money for MS, like insane amounts, where she's getting shout outs on Global News. And I know she was asked by the MS fundraising like platform to be an ambassador, which is super cool. But yeah, she's always doing fundraisers, whether it's she did Krispy Kreme fundraisers, she did a chocolate bar fundraiser, 31, for you girls who know what 31 bags are. She did one of those. She did Tupperware. She's done tons of them. Right now she's got a candy one going on, so you'll get a bag of 1,000 grams of candy. You can choose between gummy, sour, or a mix for $15, and the proceeds, like the extra profit proceeds, go to the MS fundraising. So I ordered not just for myself. Sorry if you heard that in the back. That was just Bryn. But yeah, not for myself, but I ordered 9 bags for me, people in my family. So you just order them through her. You just send her a message on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is Shelby Rank. So Shelby, ShelbyRenk. So you just send her a DM with how many bags you want, what the mixes are, or if you want them just gummy or sour. And then you just send her an e-transfer and you go and pick them up. She'll give you a time slot where you can pick them up. And yeah, so support MS, support her, because that's all she does is support MS. Love you, Shelby. You're doing awesome. And yeah, so give her a follow. She also is on Facebook too. So you can get all of her stuff through Facebook. I know her 31 fundraisers and all that were through Facebook. So just keep an eye out. All right. Yeah. Let's just actually wrap it up this week. I could keep going, but no one's got time for this. You guys want to get back to your Monday. But I hope this really helped you guys see all your options out there. Our song of the week, I've been jamming to this one all week. It's not new, but it's an oldie and it's a good one. So let's go for Formation by Queen Bee herself. And like I said, there is a giveaway this week for you out there who are still listening to me. You can win. Here's how you win. Since I am in love with Fabletics stuff now, and what was it? When did I do it? I did it half a week ago. I did a live try-on, and I just loved all the stuff. So be the first person to repost our episode 4 post that I'm going to post after this is aired. Tag us. Mondays are for the girls, as well as hashtag Fabletics for the win. And we will be able... You will be able to choose one Fabletics item of your choice from the site. If you are the winner, the Mondays Are For The Girls account will send you a message to you personally, and you can send us the item you wish to receive. So good luck, friends. May the odds be ever in your favor. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'm signing off. I love you all, and I will see you next week. Okay? See you later, guys.